quick little video here on how I mix my paint and what I do. So just a very simple little tutorial, and I'm also going to show you some of the other things that I do to prepare for a painting. So I mainly use paint and water. I don't use other pouring mediums and things like that. My favourite technique is to use paint and water because I like to do the traditional Dutch pour. So this is what I do, and especially when I'm doing a large quantity like white. I reuse my paddle pop sticks all the time. They have a ridiculous amount of colour on them. I always try to conserve everything I can because it's better for the environment, and also because it saves money. Even though it's just a paddle pop stick, it still saves money. So that's what I do. So I've added in just a big splurt of paint, as you saw, just a big dollop, and I filled it up with a bit of water. Now I can feel by that it's just too thick and it's too heavy in my hand, so I know I definitely need a fair bit more water still. And the consistency that I'm trying to get for is I learned it from a course that I did, and the phrase that you want the paint when you have mixed it to not be a mound on a mound, and you want it to pour straight back in within the paint for a Dutch pour. So it has to be nice and thin, and not do a mound on a mound. So that's still, I can tell by the way I feel it, even though the paint is not, so I'll just give you a close up here if I can. The paint is just dropping in and it's not leaving a mound on there, but it still feels too thick. And I don't quite know how to describe it, except that it just doesn't flow nicely in my hand. So I know I still need more to thin it down. That's feeling pretty good now. Scrape around the edge of the cup as well, and make sure you're getting all the way to the bottom. I like the bottoms to not have those, some cups have jagged edges in the bottom. They have these little lines in them. They're a bit of a pain. I really like these cups, which I got when the kids got a smoothie from the local burger joint actually. They're really great. So I just reuse the same cups all the time. And you'll notice I'm wearing my apron because I get paint everywhere. I'm a bit messy, and I've already managed to get splatters of paint, and I've got it on my hands. So even though I'm not really doing much, and now I've just sprayed more paint over there. So I'm very glad. I shouldn't even be wearing this top that I'm wearing actually. So that paint looks pretty good now. So it just goes straight back in and is quite runny. Quite runny indeed. And that is the process that for the first step in what I do with my paints. Now I'm doing a big painting today, so I'm actually going to mix up I'm going to fill this up more, and I'm going to do 3 or 4 of these cups because I don't want to run out of paint. That's the worst thing when you're in the middle of a painting and you run out of paint. It's always better to have more and then put your leftovers in these tomato sauce squeezy bottles. either big ones or smaller bottles like that. I save all my paint that I don't use, ranging from little tiny cups to big ones, depending on how much I use the colour, so that I don't waste any, because paint is expensive. So there you go, part 1. So this is what the back of my canvases look like. Normally they don't have the wire on them, but today, because it comes with a lovely frame, I've marked on here the top and the bottom, and there were screw marks in there, so I'll know where to put it back in again. So I have to make sure that the composition of my painting will look good to come out with this being the top and this being the bottom. So fingers crossed I can do that correctly. The other thing that I like to do is I make a chart of the paints that I use and make sure that they drip at the same rate. So I've forgotten to do that today, so we'll just do that test now, and you can see the different steps that I do to make sure that I have consistency in my work and that I don't have a problem happen. So I try and do a dot around the same size on each colour. So we've got, I'll tell you the colour names as well. So this is the grey, the Amsterdam grey. This is red violet, permanent red violet. Then we've got, this is a really hot pink, this one, so fabulous. Then we've got the Persian rose. This is pearl red. And I've got two other colours. I'm going to see how I feel as to whether I use these colours, but this is light rose, so I might use that, I'm not sure. Can't forget my gold. This is Pebeo iridescent gold, this one, so it's a bit, I haven't used Pebeo gold before, so that'll be fun. And the other colour, that was it. Oh, white, I should just check my white as well. So I'll just do that one too. But I may not use the white and the, so what I do now is I hold the piece of paper up and make sure they drip down at about the same rate, because then I'll know about the consistency. So I need to make these three a bit thinner. I need to put a little bit more water in those colours, so I will do that now and then I'll be ready to